Hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and I had a 50% off linens and textiles coupon from my local thrift shop, so I popped over there just to see what I could see, and look what I spotted. This absolutely amazingly gorgeous, buttery soft baby blanket, and it was 50% off, so it cost me less than $1, which is absolutely amazing. And it's also very, very vintage. We'll do some tag appreciation in a moment, but there's no stains on it, which is amazing, and it is so super duper soft, and I can wrap it all around my body. So I put on my Refashionista thinking cap, and I figured I can probably make myself a very, very adorable pair of pants, a skirt, a shirt, or a dress out of this. So let's go see what we're gonna make. Okay, so before we dive into the tutorial, let's do a bit of vintage tag appreciation and education. So this tag says this is 100% orlon fabric, and it was made in England. And I don't know if that's the whole tag or if it was chopped off, but it is fraying a little bit here. So what the heck is orlon fabric? Because I had no idea, and it sounds like some kind of alien name on like Star Trek, like, oh, the Orlons are coming. I looked it up, and Google is a wonderful thing. You know, you don't got to look in encyclopedias anymore. And once again, I'm aging myself, but whatever. So orlon was actually invented in 1941, and it was supposed to be a very soft version of synthetic acrylic fabric. And you know what? I think they totally succeeded, because this is incredibly soft. It was, however, discontinued in 1990 when they realized that spandex and lycra were a lot cheaper and easier to make, and they had a lot more stretch to them. So orlon fabric was around for more than a few years, 1941 to 1990. To create this absolutely awesome salute to Gen X dress, all you need is a light and airy baby blanket or regular blanket or tablecloth or curtain that fits comfortably around your body, plus a sleeveless shirt to use as a template. And you may recognize this one as I just mended and refashioned it, so I'll link that down below for you. So what I mean when I say it needs to wrap comfortably around your body is that lengthwise, this is a rectangle, so I'm going lengthwise here, and I need to be able to put it all the way around my body like this and have some space. This also is like down to my ankles, and you know, I'm wearing super baggy clothes and I can fit it very comfortably around my body. If you don't want to make a dress and you want to make a top, and your blanket or tablecloth is shaped similarly to mine, as in a rectangle, you can fold it in half the other way and make a T-top. And I shall link the tutorial down below for you. All right, so for my first step, I have my blanket folded in half lengthwise with the right sides facing, and then I'm simply going to stitch the longest open side together to create a very big blanket tube. Okay, so once you have those open edges stitched together, you'll have something that looks like this. And you absolutely want to try it on and make sure you can easily slip it on and off over your head, which clearly I can. And you see there is that seam now, which is going to be the back seam. And those are simply those two open edges that I stitched together. Now let's go figure out how we're going to turn this tube into a dress. I feel like a wiggly worm. Okay, so I've now decided which end of the tube that I want to be the top part of my dress, and I have it laid on a flat surface with that center seam going evenly down the back. So all I did to do that was just fold it in half and then make sure the center seam was in the middle and then laid it down. Very, very easy. So I'm simply going to center that on top of my blanket tube. And again, I'm just eyeballing things here. You can measure if you want to. I might measure when I'm done doing this part, but I'm not sure. I usually just eyeball everything, right? I do that so much. I made a line of products in my YouTube shop that just say, just eyeball it with my little eyeball icons. Go check those out. So here are the edges of the sides of my template top, and I'm just going to mark that area plus about 1 centimeter, I guess, onto my blanket tube at the top edge here. And now maybe, I don't know, that looks about even to me. So just gonna fold it over. Yeah, that's totally even. Okay, so you know what? Just for fun, let's measure this and see how accurate I am. All right, so going from one edge to my pin here, ooh, it's about 18 centimeters, pretty good. And let's go from the other one, and again, 18-ish centimeters. So that's close enough for me, I think. Eyeballing definitely works if you have a good eye. So now all I'm going to do is stitch from my pin down to the edge here to close up this section and this section, and then that will leave me with an opening for my head hole, and then we're going to move on to the next step. This is getting funnier and funnier with every step that we're doing. So you can see I have once again tried it on, and it's perfect. The neck is absolutely perfect, and it's exactly how I wanted it to be. And I did round off these corners just a touch, and I'm pretty sure I have to do a little bit more so they're not going to be weird and uncomfortable. It's very hard to talk with your hands when you're trapped in a fabric tube. Anyway, I'm going to go finish off these edges so they sit nicer on my shoulders, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so I have my template shirt once again laying on top of my fabric tube, but this time I have the collar seams lined up, and I'm going to use the shoulder seam as my guide to create some proper shoulder seams instead of just guessing and sewing. I'm actually going to do it properly. Okay, so just popping a pin here right at the edge. So now I know I can just stitch from my collar seam down to my pin, and I'm going to create my lovely shoulder seam. Okay, you can see here I have both of my new shoulder area seams done, and that looks much better. But you might be thinking, it's still squared edges, and what the heck, this doesn't look like a dress. It's going to. I promise, I think. Anyway, I think this is going to work. In my brain, it's already worked, so let's hope. It's Refashionista Sheri brain on fire today. Let's hope. Okay, so now this actually makes it even easier because I can just line up those seams instead of really trying to eyeball everything. And now I'm going to go and chop out these sleeve holes right here. And then I'm going to create some sleeves to go in the holes. But as I'm chopping these out, I'm also going to get rid of this bulkiness up here because I have my seam there now. So if I cut that off, all will be well. So that's what I'm going to do. Look, that's looking more and more like a dress bodice, isn't it? Yay! Okay, so to make my life even easier now, I'm simply going to fold this side over to this side and use the cut side as the template to chop out the other side. And then we're going to create our sleeves. It's looking more and more like a dress, and I'm no longer trapped in a tube, but of course we have to create our sleeves. And to do that, all I'm going to do is shorten this to my desired length and then use the chopped bottom to create my awesome sleeves. So let's go do it. Okay, I am in absolute shock, as always, at how totally amazing this is turning out. So stick around, we're almost done, and then we're going to do the big reveal. But I chopped the bottom, and then, because the bottom was, of course, super fraying, because, I mean, this is crazy fraying fabric, right? I then bound the bottom first with some vintage lace, but then I was thinking, I don't like that too much. So then I went and I added more vintage lace. But as I was stitching, even though I had measured, I was running out of lace. Of course I was, because this is incredibly stretchy. So I was unintentionally stretching as I was stitching. But that's okay, because I found this lace in my stash, which I think is close enough, like the bottom edge here, it's close enough, right? And it's a pretty similar color, so half of the hem of my dress has this lace, and then we come over here, and the other half have blah blah, the other half has this lace, which I think is fine, because what do I always say? Perfection is the enemy of good enough, right? And this actually looks absolutely phenomenal when it's on. So you know what? It's time to do the sleeves and finish it off. So here is the bottom piece that I chopped off, and it's going to become my sleeves in just a couple of minutes here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just chop it in half so I have two pieces. And of course, I'm going to get rid of this thick, bulky seam as well. So now I have two pretty equally sized pieces, and I'm just going to go stitch this raw edge together on both of them to create my two tubes that will then become my sleeves. So I now have my two lovely sleeve tubes completed, and I did go ahead and just kind of gently round off the top edge here because they were looking kind of manky, and I think it'll fit into the sleeve hole a lot better with a nice rounded edge, but that's all it is. It's just a tube of fabric. So now let's grab the dress and add the sleeves. Okay, so I now have my dress inside out, and I have my sleeve right side out. And why is that? Well, we know why that is by now, right? That is so when I put the sleeve into the dress, the right sides will be facing, and then everything will be as it should be. So you can see here, I'm putting that curved edge up at the shoulder area, and then the side that I curved it down to be a little bit less wide is going to match up with the side seam, of which there isn't one, so that's great. Anyway, we're gonna guesstimate where the side seam is on here, and then I'm just gonna go stitch this together and repeat it on the other side. I know I say this all the time, and I know I shock myself all the time, but as you guys know, I didn't grow up sewing. I'm pretty new to this still, and every time I manage to figure out how to make something into something else, it shocks the crap out of me. But anyway, this is absolutely darlingly, wonderfully awesome, and it is so similar to a dress that I was actually coveting since the 90s when I saw it in one of my favorite Gen X movies. So let's go try this on, style it up, and yeah, do a little bit of a comparison. I think I just created the most Gen X dress to ever Gen X in the history of Gen X dresses, for real. And as I mentioned before, this dress is so close to a dress that I've been coveting since I saw it in a movie in the 90s. And of course, that movie was Reality Bites. Where my fellow Gen Xers at that absolutely loved that movie, but now watch it and kind of go, that's kind of problematic, like a lot of the things, but still, it's so super relatable. Anyway, I coveted the dress that Lainey was wearing that was so rudely called a doily dress. And you know what? This is very, very close to that dress, but I made it to my own taste and style, so it's even better because it's exactly like I want it to be. Fantastic. So here's something else. Here's something else about me that maybe you don't know. All through the 90s, I had a very dark pixie cut that sometimes it was, pink, sometimes it was green, but most of the time it was kind of a purplish black or a blue black or a very, very, very dark brown. I was a very 90s looking Gen X, so anyone who's into 90s style or a Gen X themselves, I suggest popping to your linen closet, going to the thrift store, getting yourself a soft baby blanket and making one of these because it's absolutely gorgeously awesome. And as always, you know what time it is, guys? It is a troll time. And I think today we might have a new member of staff to check out. So let's go see what I'm doing wrong this time. Alors, bonjour. I am Francoise, and you may remember me from a video from a few years ago. And I am the maquilleur, the makeup artist, and hairstylist for Refashionista Sheri. And I have seen some of the troll times from the other staff members, and it looked like so much fun. So I thought, hey, I want to try. So here I am. I'm going to try. And I have my fantastic Kabuda's 1980s makeup case here. And you probably want to see the Barbie that Sheri made of me. And here she is. And she also has her own mini Kabuda's makeup case like me. And of course my beret and the stripy top. And of course the black trousers. The only thing that is a little bit not the same is Sheri cannot get the hair to go straight. So if you have an idea, please let her know down below how to make the Barbie hair straight. It's not working what she's trying. Okay, you are here to see troll time, so let's do a troll time. And this person, they didn't like Sheri turning 50, I guess, and they put this comment on two of the birthday posts that she shared over on her Confessions of a Refashionista page. And let's check the posts first. This one here, and then this one.
I'm proud to say I'm 50 years old and not one of those gals who's afraid to hide her age, unlike some other gals. And I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50 years old.
Okay, so you see, both are cute and funny, but this person did not think so. So, her name, I think, is Mira, and she says, stop pushing your agenda. No one cares. So my thought here, I'm not understanding what is the agenda. What is the agenda that Sheri is pushing here? She is turning 50, and I don't know what is the agenda. It's just to say, hey, I am 50, that is it, and be funny about it, because turning 50 is great, right? Everybody should be happy to be aging. This is something that is a privilege. Not everybody has the chance to age. It is a wonderful thing. And maybe, though, is she thinking her agenda to teach people how to live more eco and create their own clothes and their own decor? I'm not sure, but either way, I don't think it's a bad agenda to have, to be proud of your age and to also be teaching people how to make things that they want to make and upcycle and refashion and all of those things. I don't think any of that is a bad agenda. And she says, no one cares. I don't think that's true. I think a lot of people care. So if you don't care, then you don't need to watch it, and you don't need to scroll and see what Sheri is doing. That is something, I think, what is it? Is it called hate watch? Yeah, when people watch things and see things that they don't like because they want that feeling of hatred in themselves, which is very, very strange. I don't understand. But I think that is all we can say to Mira is if you don't like it, then don't watch it and don't take part. You have wasted some time here putting this comment 2 times on Sheri's page. I don't understand. Why are you wasting your life to see things that you're not liking? It's a little bit hurt, no? No way. Okay. But yes, you let me know you want to see me again, and maybe I teach you some of my makeup hacks and tricks and tips, and maybe for the hair as well. You let me know you want that, and Sheri will bring me back, and I can do that for you. Okay. So what does she say? stay safe, stay well, and we will, Refashionista Sheri and me, Francoise, we will catch you on the zigzag.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.